Hey everyone, a few days ago I posted a video just showing some of the charms and things that I've made so far, and I've had some requests on tutorials on a few different things, and several people requested these s'mores, and I've never done a tutorial before. This is my first one, and I'm recording on an iPad too, so I'm not sure exactly what the quality is going to be, but bear with me. So I'll just get started. The first thing you need is going to be tan clay, white clay, and chocolate clay. I use Sculpey clay, but you can use any kind of oven bake clay. Just make sure it says oven bake, and the baking times are different for each kind of clay. So the first thing you want to do is take your tan clay and roll it out. I use a roller. You don't have to, you can just press it down flat, but for me it's just easier to use a roller. So roll it flat, and you can just, this is going to be for the graham cracker, you can just cut squares out of it. I like to use these little cutters that I got from Joann Fabrics. And we're going to need 3 graham crackers total. I'll just cut out 2 here to show you. And I use the same cutter for the chocolate, so these have to be a little bigger than the chocolate, so I just squish them out a little bit to make them a little bigger. So that's what they look like. And then I like to use one of these tools also from Joann Fabrics. You can use anything like a toothpick, safety pin, anything you want to make the little holes. Now the bottom graham cracker will only have to have holes on the very outside because most of it will be covered with the chocolate. So I just go around and poke holes like this to make it look like a graham cracker. And then the one that goes on the top, as you can see, it has more holes. So I don't think it really matters what pattern you use. I just do a row of 5 and then a row of 4 and another row of 5. Okay, so set those aside, and next you want to do the chocolate. So you just roll it out and then do the same thing that you did with the graham cracker. You can use a blade to cut this, anything you want, but I just think if you're making several, it's just easier to use a cutter, so they're kind of all the same size. Put the chocolate on top of the graham cracker, like that. And then next is going to be the marshmallow. And this will just be forming it with your hands. You can make them any size you want. Roll it in a ball. I usually just roll it in the palm of my hand. Some people like to roll it on the table. But just start forming it like a ball and then squishing the top at the same time. It'll give it a flat top, like a marshmallow. Helps to roll it on the table too, and then squishing the top. And it looks like a mini marshmallow. And then you just put this on top of the graham cracker. And that'll be it for the first one. The first one, as you can see, has no top to it. So the only thing you want to do now is, if you're wanting to make it into a charm, you'll have to use an eye pin like this. You can also use head pins too, which I use this one to paint with. I don't really use head pins very much, but they have a flat top to them, And if you use those, you just stick it through the bottom and then out of the top, and then you have to make a loop in the top like this. I just think it's easier to use eye pins. And we don't have to have it this long, so I use cutters like this. I got a set of 3 different tools like this from Joann Fabrics for like $7. But if you don't have these, you can use scissors, you can bend it until it breaks. It doesn't matter. None of these tools are necessary. But cut it to the length that you want. Then you have this left over, but don't throw that away because you can make another eye pin out of that. Just insert this in the top of the marshmallow. Like that. And that's what it should look like when it's done. And normally I bake it and then I put glaze on it and then I paint the face, but just for the sake of the tutorial I'll go ahead and paint the face now. I have one that I made, like the cheeks, as you can see, are pretty uniform. I used an eye pin or a head pin to paint those. This one was made, the cheeks were made using chalk pastels, the soft pastels, and I didn't really like how it turned out. I just think it looks a little messy. I like the uniform look a little better, but you can do it anyway. In this tutorial I'll show you how to use the paint. Alright, I use pink paint, black paint, and white paint, and right here I only have the lids. I don't need a bunch to do this. You take an eye pen, you can also use a paintbrush, it doesn't matter. I use my eye pen, dip it in the pink paint, and just put a little dot for his cheeks. And, oops, one on the other side too. You can't really see that very well, but you make 2 cheeks with that, and then you use the black, dip your eye pen in that, and just make an eyeball. Your head pen, I'm sorry. And for the white part of the eye, I just use a paintbrush, a very thin one. Just dip a little bit in the white and dot the eye. And to make the smile, I use the thin paintbrush as well to do that. You can make any kind of smile that you want. And that's what it looks like when it's done. And to make the squished s'more, you do the exact same thing as you do to make this one, except I already have the chocolate and the graham cracker here pre-made. And then when you're making the marshmallow, you just want to squish it down a little bit more. Here's the marshmallow, what it would look like before, and then you just squish it down a little bit more. And then you take a second graham cracker and put it on top. You can also squish it more after the graham cracker's already on it. Then you insert an eye pin in the top. And at this point you would glaze it or bake it and then glaze it and paint the face, but I'll go ahead and show you how to paint the face of this one too. I'm just going to be using the thin paintbrush, dip it in the black paint, and I just make little arrows for the eyes. And for the mouth I just make just a dot. So he looks like he's being squished. So that's how they should look. I'm going to be placing more tutorials on here as soon as I get them filmed. So if there's anything that you want me to make, just let me know. Thank you for watching.